What's up? Welcome back to the Casual Jets fan. It's Stephen Green joined on me, Congino, Michael Green, and we're going to talk a little pre-draft today.
How you doing, Steven?
I'm doing all right. How are you, Michael?
I'm doing good. Excited to talk about some Jets and the draft coming up this week.
Yes, it is the off season, which is often our best part of the season.
That's for sure.
Yeah, so speaking of off season, what are your thoughts so far on the Jets moves?
I think overall, I like it. I think last time we spoke, there was all the coaching questions, which was a little unsettling at the time, but good or bad, that's at least we have those questions answered now. And then looking at what they did in free agency, I think the biggest thing to me was they raised the floor of the team. So many holes in the defense last year. It's been a long time since we've seen a poor defense for the Jets, but last year was bad.
Bad.
Yeah, bad defense and bad quarterback plays kind of, I think, sums up last season. So to see the players we added along the D-line, D-tackles, edge players, I think we're going to be able to stop the run, which will be a nice, refreshing change. So I just like that, and they gave themselves a lot more flexibility going into this draft where, and other teams won't know what we might pick because we have options now, more options to take the best available player. What do you think?
Yeah, I think not an overly exciting off season, but I kind of agree. I like the moves. I think having Demario Davis back, old familiar face, would be nice. I think Minkah Fitzpatrick's not a bad, it ups our safety game. I think the part I was most surprised / disappointed was seeing Folcutt. He was our best player last year.
I agree completely. Yeah, so hopefully we don't have too much of a letdown in the kicking game this year because he was awesome.
Yeah. Then I guess, the obvious other big piece is Geno, which didn't find terribly exciting. We kind of seen him before. I was really hoping for Kyler, but I guess Geno is better than Justin Fields, and I think maybe we're the only team that could say Geno would be an improvement at the QB position.
Yeah, I think as a Jets fan, with the bitter taste Geno left in our mouths when he left, it took a while to warm up to the idea of him coming back. But when you kind of look at it, we're not paying a lot for him. He can throw. If he's protected, he can throw the ball. He can still throw the ball at an elite level. So, I hope we get the best out of him. But it was an uninspiring move, but it makes sense why they made it. I too would have loved to see Kyler making explosive plays for the Jets. But
yeah, I'm actually a little bit in a different take. I don't want to see the best from Geno. I'm actually kind of hoping to see the worst. I hope our quarterback play is atrocious, where we don't win any games and we're picking a long-term solution quarterback next year. I hope we're number 1 or 2 in the draft again next year. I'm hoping Geno sucks.
Yeah, that would be great from a draft perspective.
Yeah, and
we already know he's not the long-term answer. What is he, 35 years old? So that makes sense.
Yeah, and he's still hit or miss. I think I was watching him play a game. He was terrible the one game I watched him last year, so I'm kind of hoping that sticks. I think, it's all right. I think the only winners there are the Jets fans who still got their old Geno jerseys.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I mean, those are the only winners in that one. But
that's for sure. I think the last thing I would say on the uninspiring but solid kind of free agency moves we made were, I think, if I was to pick holes in it, 2 things that I think we missed on was not getting a center. We have Meyer starting, who went into last season as our backup center, and he's our starter, and we don't have really anything behind him. And I'd say he's a great backup, decent starter. So I would have loved to seen an upgrade there.
Yeah.
And then receiver, just adding one more receiver, especially looking at this draft class, those 2 positions. There's not really an elite receiver in it, no one that really separates from the rest of them. And there's not really any elite centers, I would say, either. So I would have loved to seen those addressed. But overall, I think we're going to field a better team this year on the field than we did last year.
It's got to be better than last year.
Yeah, there's no place to go but up, pretty much.
Yeah, no, I do agree. On the centerpiece especially, I think that would have been nice. And yeah, we need help at receiver, which we're probably going to address. So kind of on that note, what do you want the Jets to do in this draft coming up?
That's a great question. I think we got the 2 first rounders, 2 second rounders. No third, 2/4, fifth, 2/7. So we got a lot of picks. We got a lot of picks in the following draft. But I guess to your point, you talked about you wanting Gino to suck, so we are in a great position to get a quarterback of the future next year. If he doesn't suck, we do have lots of first rounders next year, but then we're going to be trade. If we do have a decent season, we're going to have to trade up to get a quarterback that we want. So we're going to be potentially could be giving away a lot of picks if that is the strategy there. So
yeah, which isn't ideal, but
no, it's not. So with that in mind, I guess what I want to see to happen this year is, even though we have a lot of picks, stay in your current draft position and or even trade back a little bit. I see there's not a lot of what people are kind of saying about this draft is there's not a lot of kind of elite top tier talent in it, but then it's kind of solid for that kind of first, second round. So I think if you can accumulate picks kind of back half of the first round through second, maybe top of the third, that is where you want the majority of your picks. And then if you can kind of build the team there, and then it won't be such a big giving up a few picks the following draft, I don't think will be as consequential, if you do have to trade up. So I guess what I want to see is come away with great football players, it's more what I don't want to see is trade ups, giving away picks this year, knowing that we could potentially do that next year.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, and I think what you're saying there too kind of just highlights how nice it is to have all that draft capital right now.
Yeah.
However it looks, we transformed this team a little bit.
I guess in terms of players, though, I guess the players that people have been talking about for that was second overall pick, Arvell Reese, David Bailey, I think are the two names that we're hearing everywhere.
Yeah, I think most of the sports books, last time I looked at them, about 50-50, same odds.
Yeah. Me personally, I would go Arvell Reese, and I also like Ruben Bain, who's the other edge player that's kind of in that top tier group of the top three. I think Bailey's my least favorite, so if it were me, I would say let's take Bailey or Bain, or no, excuse me, Reese or Bain. And if you're not in love with one, if you can trade back a few picks, and then grab one of the other ones, if you kind of like them the same, maybe you try to add a little more draft capital, even though we have a lot, and get one of those top three, and then
stash some more picks. What happens on the phone line?
So that's kind of, I think that pick makes sense though, because those are elite players at elite positions, which you usually have to pay a lot, and that usually don't even hit free agency. Like top edge players, they get re-signed on massive contracts, so you do have to kind of draft them early. Going to that second pick, people are talking receiver there, and that makes sense. I think there's a whole lot of options there, receiver being one of them. Omar Cooper Jr. has been talked about to the Jets. I would love that. Love seeing him on the team. I love his yak. All the yards after the catch there are amazing. And then the other one, the other receiver that's kind of one of the top ones, I think Jordan Tyson from Arizona. I
agree. Yep.
If he wasn't injured, if he didn't have all the injury concerns, he would be the number one pick. And I don't think that's a question. So, and he may slip. So if he's there, do you take a shot on him?
Yes, I say absolutely. And there are a lot of his hamstring injuries, and if he misses a couple games on those, he's not going to re-break his collarbone. I hope those injuries help him fall. Maybe he's around.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd be happy with any of those picks. I think safeties, we added a lot in the offseason there, so we have more depth. But this is a really good safety class.
Yeah.
I love the safety from Oregon, Dylan Thieneman, but I have a hard time seeing us pick that at 16. So the other guy I really like is that makes sense for that second round for us would be LSU. What is his name?
As far as safety,
yeah,
I think it's Halsey.
Yes, Halsey. Yeah, I really like him.
Yeah,
I think he would be a great fit for the Jets. Physical, can cover, he can kind of do it all, but maybe more leaning towards that kind of in the box kind of safety, but can still kind of play the whole field.
Yeah, so you're thinking potentially they would go edge and then safety with the first 2 picks?
Well, I'm thinking Halsey for the second round, really.
Okay.
So we got the 2 picks kind of top of the second round. One of those, I think, could make sense for us there.
Yeah. No, I think Halsey would be a nice one if he's left around for the second round for sure. Any other kind of standout players? Anyone who you would love to pick up somewhere? Good guys that you're just liking?
An interesting one for 16, and it's not really a need, but if Oregon tight end Kenyon Sadiq is available, I don't know if you've seen much on him, but he is just an athletic freak, explosive. But what I also love is he wants to knock people over in the run game. Like, they'll put him at fullback. He's out there and he wants to be nasty and physical, and he'll miss sometimes, but I think if you got the desire and you get to the NFL, they can coach that out of him. So to have someone that's kind of like a physical specimen, even though we got 2 really good tight ends, and you look at it, okay, we don't have good receivers in this draft. Well, he's kind of a receiver in itself, so I think that's in play at 16.
Yeah, no, I would love, depending on who's on the board, a great tight end that's just as valuable as a receiver. I think, depending on what receivers are left, if he's there, I'd take him over.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, and I think if the Jets don't go edge with that first pick, there's a couple players. Zion Young out of Missouri, I really like him. He had a great Senior Bowl. I think he could end up being the best edge player in the draft. I mean, I don't. That's maybe kind of crazy to say, but I don't think it's crazy to think because top ones don't always hit, but like he has that kind of potential. So if you do something different with that first pick, that's someone I'd be looking at into the first round.
Yeah, he's good. I don't hate that.
So to me, for those reasons, I'd be looking at staying put or trading back a little bit, kind of collecting as many picks between, say, 16 and pick 80 in the draft. I think that is the sweet spot of this draft for getting top tier players.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see what happens. That's always a good part of the draft. See what trades go on. What are you thinking as far as what the Jets actually will do?
I think that edge. I think it's going to be Reese or Bailey. I mean, that's kind of boring to say, but I do think it's going to be one of those guys. What I think the Jets are doing, what I hope they're doing is, well, I'll back up a little bit. Going back to a previous GM, Douglas, some of his picks were predictable, and we saw teams jumping ahead of us because they knew we were going to draft this. I think Pittsburgh did it with the linemen. They knew we were going to take them, so they traded up to the team in front of us, drafted the linemen. And I think the Jets are being a little bit smarter in terms of not letting on to other teams what we're going to do. And maybe that's why they're floating Bailey, or maybe they do truly like him, but I think it's been a lot of kind of misdirection going on right now.
No, I think you're right. Not having the visit with Bailey has been kind of, what does that mean?
Yeah, because they scheduled it, they canceled it. Reporters saying, okay, he's going to be the guy, and then so something's going on. I think my thinking is it's misdirection, and I hope it is. And maybe they are trying to look at a trade down scenario there. So, okay, like you look at pick 4, Tennessee, that's Robert Saleh. He would probably love a David Bailey pass rusher.
Yeah. So
maybe they're trying to say, oh, we're going to take him. Maybe they can get a trade back with him and then end up with Ruben Bain or Arvell Reese there at pick 4 and add another pick. So I hope that's what they're doing. I guess that's getting back to what we think they're going to do, but I think it's going to be one of those guys. And then Omar Cooper Jr., I do think they're going to go that route, and I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd be cool with that. So what about maybe a little less realistic? What would be like a dream scenario, best case for you? If you had a little magic wand.
It's kind of what I was saying, but yeah, that's a good question. I would say it's trading back a couple picks with our first pick. So maybe you're at pick 3 or 4 instead of 2. You've added another first rounder or at least second rounder. You still get your guy, Arvell Reese, Ruben Bain. That would be super ideal. We've added another pick. Then you're at 16. If you got the receiver you like, you take him. If there's someone else you're in love with, you go after them. and you've just acquired more picks in that scenario there. So I would say that's it. Well, what are you thinking?
And I'm going kind of totally unrealistic. If I had magic wand, I would be totally happy with Reese or Bailey first, and then somehow if something happens and we could also get Sonny Styles, that would be my kind of my dream scenario. I'd love to see
that would be a nice.
The defense stepped up. With that, he's been a fun guy watching him. He's just like a good at football guy. Really, I don't think it's gonna happen, but I'd love it.
Yeah, no, that would be awesome. And how about Ohio State with draft picks? They got so many top players. It is crazy.
Yeah, it's so crazy they didn't win the championship with all those players.
I know. This is it's an insane draft for them.
Well, right, kind of other side of the coin. What would you say is kind of worst case scenario? What do you not want to see the Jets do?
Trade up. I'd say trade up. Draft a quarterback first round and trade up. Those got to be the ones. It's no secret this isn't the best draft, especially past the first prospect in it. So I don't want to reach on one. I think you have to absolutely love them. So
yep.
Don't waste picks this year when we potentially might have to trade up next year. And then I think the other two things is we've added so much D-tackle depth and solid players, not even just depth starters. And we have a solid running back. We don't know how long he's going to be with us, but probably can't draft a D-tackle or a running back in the first round. I think second round and after, it's fair game.
Yeah.
Because you don't know if Brees is going to be here. I hope he is, but
I hope so too.
I think those would be kind of reach moves.
Yeah, I'm with you on the quarterback. Not taking a quarterback first round, absolutely. But I want even one step further. I don't want to see them take a quarterback at all. I don't want to see 30. I don't want 33 or 44. Like you were saying, yeah. I think you got to absolutely love him. I don't want to see Christian Hackenberg 2.0.
Yes,
total waste, especially if next year's quarterback class is as deep as it is. There's several guys in there who look good, and I think. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say 100% agree with you on that. Yeah, second round too. Yeah, I don't want him. I don't even if Ty Simpson, the number 2 quarterback prospect, slips to the second round. I still don't want him. Like he may be good. We could be wrong, but
and it's almost just
too much risk.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's just, to me, like if there's a better player that's more of a sure thing, let's take him this year. What's a little bit of my thought on this draft is let's not worry about need this year. Let's not do risk. Let's just take best player available for the most part. If it's a guy who's going to change things, let's take him.
Yeah.
And a quarterback who's only played 15 games. There's no way to know.
Yeah, no, that is a great point because you can't have. It's far better to get a quarterback when you got a team around him than get a quarterback and then try to build a team around him and then they get the crap beat out of them. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
We've seen that. We've seen how that goes in the past. And we've seen all the ways not to develop a quarterback, so I think we're knowledgeable to talk on that subject.
Yeah. And I really hope they don't do there's just a random pick that's just like a Darren Lee or like a D. Milner that's just like, what? Where did it just... Darren Lee was not a killer pick.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. I think this is going to be a big draft for our GM. It's going to say a lot about him because I would say his last draft was decent and it was more about what he did in season with trades and then this offseason that's really set him apart. So I think if he can put together a solid draft here, Jets fans can be confident about him going forward.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see something solid. I'm really hoping we take away some good players. And not to be a downer, and I think things might change maybe when the season comes up, but I'm really hoping we get some talented guys, lose a lot of games next year, pick up a great quarterback, get some more talented guys, and actually have a decent team that can play for some time to come.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll say no. I agree completely with you what you said about no quarterback first or second round. And probably not even third for me. I don't mind taking one fourth round and later. And maybe third if you do really like him, but I think it's the old